Mental illness is not what you have been calling it. Depression is not laziness. Anxiety is not weakness. Struggling mentally doesn't mean someone is failing in life. Some of the strongest people you know are fighting inner battles, and instead of receiving support, they are being judged. Today, I want us to have a conversation around this and break the stigma around mental illness. So, mental illness refers to conditions that affect mood, affect thinking, it affects behavior, it affects functioning, and they are diagnosable conditions. So we are not talking about normal sadness here. I want us to note the word functioning. So we're not talking about the normal sadness or everyday stress. We're talking about patterns that occur every time, that are persistent, that gets worse over time, that affect daily life. In psychiatry, there's a term that we use, biopsychosocial model, which talks about biological, psychological, and social model. And this means that the causes of mental illnesses are usually complex. They're usually not from one single cause. So it can involve the normal brain chemistry, it can involve genetics, it can involve the environment, it can involve childhood trauma, it can involve stress or even social factor, relationship, all that. It is complex, it is medical, and it is real. So now let's talk about our environment here as Africans. Here in Nigeria, mental illnesses are either ignored or spiritualized, or people just shame it. Like, just tell the person, please don't embarrass our family, or they tell the person, be strong, just snap out of it, statements like that, or just pray about it. We value strength a lot, and so we see mental illness as weakness. We just tell the person, don't, why are you not strong, come on, come out of it, come off it. Yeah. So emotional silence has now become dangerous. We can no longer tell people to keep silence about mental illnesses again. When we label depression as laziness, and we call anxiety lack of faith, and we describe psychosis as madness, we push people into hiding. We don't allow them to describe what they are feeling or to seek help. And when illnesses are being hidden, it gets worse. So I want us to clarify that these are human beings, and normally human being experience sadness, we experience fear, we go through stress, go through grief, which are all normal. But mental illnesses are different. Mental illness is not like the normal human experience, because what makes us to worry in psychiatry is when the person can no longer function normally, when the illness is now more severe than it has been before, when the person can no longer function normally, and even when there is risk of suicide. So we get we show concern, and we tell people to go and see the psychiatrist. Feeling sad after a loss is human. Even um, being anxious about an exam or after an exam, it's also normal. But when somebody is feeling hopeless for months and is unable to eat, is unable to sleep, and is even contemplating suicide, that is now beyond normal experiences. So the difference is not morality. The difference here is impairment. There is an impairment going on. And I want us to address this, that faith is a very powerful thing. Prayer is very necessary. It's a way by which we communicate with God. And having a community, having a good family support, social support, that is very good. That these things will help people to remain stable. But prayer and faith, they are not meant to replace wisdom. that God has given us in science, in the place of science. If someone has asthma, person prays and takes inhaler. If person has diabetes, you pray about it and you take your drugs. So when the brain is now having some struggles, we don't now resort to shame. We also pray and we seek the appropriate treatment. See, even scripture talks about emotional struggle. People like Elijah had emotional struggle. In fact, I think he had depression because you could hear the statement coming from his mouth. He was in so much distress. He was afraid. He was telling God, they have left me. I'm the only one alone. Please take my life. He was contemplating suicide at that point. Let's look at Psalms. David, he wrote some Psalms, and when you look at the words that he used to describe his condition, you will know that he was in anguish. He was in fear. Even Jesus Christ had emotional struggle too. When he was praying at Gethsemane, the Bible described his tears as blood. So it is normal for people to go through emotions. People go through struggles. And it is not a sin. It is not weakness. And going for treatment does not mean unbelief. Our language, how we describe people, is also very important. When we call people mad, when we call them unstable, crazy, and she just wants attention, all those words, they carry weight. It doesn't create space for healing, it doesn't allow them to come and seek help. But when we say, oh, she may be struggling, or she may be having an illness, or she may need support, those words are better. They create space for healing. So language is not just about what we vocabulary, speaking grammar. There should be empathy in our words. It should reveal dignity for human. And if you remember nothing else from everything I've been saying today, please remember that mental illness is not a character flaw. It is a medical illness that can be treated. It is not a spiritual failure. If this conversation has challenged you, helped you, please share with other people. And if you want to understand when it is time to seek professional help, I've created a free guide for you. Just go through it. The link is going to be in the description. And please subscribe to my videos so that we can continue to have these interesting conversations that people usually try to avoid. So remember that you are human. You're not weak. Healing is possible. Healing is available. You can always reach out for help. See you another time. Bye.